I figured it out on my phone. I could not figure it out on my computer.
And I'm the wrong one to ask for
I'm
technical
like
help.
technology challenged. I'm like, what the
Got
heck?
it.
I could see the live. I could see everything. I'm like, I don't see where I'm supposed to pull it in. I don't know. So I'm going to just do it on
Yeah, I
my
know.
phone. It should
Once
be
you
fine.
comment, once you comment, I think I gotta, you know, hit it, go live.
We both wore a hat today. Everyone got the memo.
Yeah. What's going on?
Not much. Just, same old, same old. Fighters coming every minute. You got any fights for me? They think I'm a matchmaker or a promoter or something sometimes. Like they think I
Right.
just call up promoters and say, "Hey, this fighter wants to fight on your card."
Put this guy on
Right.
it. uh, yeah,
Sometimes I do. Go ahead.
you heard anything from our people or what? Other than what we was talking about? Yeah, me neither.
And they won't sign it either. But I'm gonna ask again today if they signed it. Yesterday they hadn't signed it yet, but are they telling you they signed it?
No, I just got that screenshot, and I didn't call. I'm gonna call Gerard here today.
The screenshot of the contract signed?
No, screenshot of that box rec. Waiting to get approved. Yeah, I didn't.
Well, that
I
means
didn't,
it's
I'm gonna
in
find.
box rec. That doesn't mean
What's
anyone
that?
signed a contract. That means it's in box rec, but that doesn't mean someone signed a contract.
Right.
I'll
I'm
find
gonna
out
find out.
today. Okay.
So you in Detroit? Where you
Detroit, look.
at? How tell me about the ABF. What's the whole how long that's been around, what you do for it, all that good stuff.
Okay, well, the ABF is actually the old U.S. Mid America belt from like the 70s and 80s.
Uh-huh.
And what they did was they just stopped using it. Like they stopped promoting it and things like that. And there weren't any other title fights, I think, after the late 80s, like almost into the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So we acquired that and then we rebranded it in 2018. The beginning of the year of 2018, we rebranded it to the American Boxing Federation. So,
Okay.
and it's been amazing. Like, I mean, just in, let's say, a year's time, a little over a year, we're now the busiest regional, like, national title in the entire hemisphere. It's kind of
Well,
crazy. I
I
know.
I seen it in this last year everywhere.
Yeah, so it's been great. I mean, we've done them in Brazil. We've had title fights in Brazil, and it's been great. So now we're looking to expand and maybe join forces with, I can't say too much, but with like one of the organizations that has a world title. We don't have a world
Right.
title, so we have three regional titles, which we're the only for the USA, we're the only regional title that someone can get that's in box rack.
Okay.
Unless you're,
Okay.
and you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know the WBC has all kinds of titles that they currently write. Like, if you
Yeah.
want a title for the WBC, they might not have a title at your weight, but they will make one up for you at any point, which is
Yeah.
very unpolitical to say, but if you get to know me better, I say it like it is. So
I
they make it,
seen
yeah, but they're the WBC, so they could do that.
right. I seen a belt they made for Tyson, and for this Tyson fight, he got a snake across the he got a snake across the strap. I said, "What is that?" I wonder what they call that one.
What do they
Mike,
call it?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe
Oh,
they made a lineal belt for Tyson Fury. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
But
it's kind of cool that they do that. Like, I mean, we'll do that. Like let's say
right,
there's a I mean, the closest thing we do to anything like that is if there's a kid out there or fighter out there and he's a warrior and, or the term that we use, which I really don't like, they call him a journeyman or something like that. I mean, and, he doesn't really, his record doesn't reflect that he should be a USA champion for the ABF.
right,
But I look at who he fought, when he fought, and I talk to the promoters that he's fought for, and they're like, he'll fight anyone. He'll come, he'll fight. He gives it his all. You know what I mean? He's just not coming there to pose and just come there for a paycheck. He's coming there to fight. And he's coming there to try and win. You
Like
know, but
our guy, Marquise. He's there to fight every time, huh?
right. Okay, so there you go. So for
Right.
someone like him, you know, and he contacted me. Ellerson, that's to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So he called me, you know, and he said, "Hey, Claire, I really want to fight for your belt." And so I looked at who he had fought, you know, how he lost, who he lost to, and you look at all that. I watched some tape of him, like, you know what? He deserves recognition for going in there and doing his thing. So I was able to make him an honorary belt. And
There
I,
you
and
go.
I feel good that we can do that. You know what I mean? Like we have our own rules. I mean, obviously we're doing everything we're supposed to do as a sanctioning body, and we take that very serious. But at the same time, I'm in this for a different reason. I mean, I'm in boxing for. I'm really not in it for monetary gain, although we all like to make money for the work we do. But
Right.
I'm in boxing for the fighter. Like I care about the fighter. I got into boxing. I don't know if I ever told you this. I got into boxing because I took a homeless kid in off the streets. That's how I even got into boxing. And I knew nothing about boxing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. So
Right.
it's kind of a long story how it's truly just God how it even happened. It doesn't even make any sense how I ended up in that spot at that time doing what I was doing for me to even run into this person.
How long ago was this?
Oh God. 7 years ago? Which I
Hmm.
know a lot of people are like, we've only been in boxing for 7 years. But let me just say this. So let me explain. So prior to boxing, it's kind of boring, so you can cut me off at any time. Prior to boxing,
Nah, go ahead.
I used to train neurosurgeons how to do new procedures in surgery. That's what I did for years. So from there, it's very it's very strange. I ended up acquiring, and I do say acquiring, for someone that owed me some money. I ended up acquiring being at a check cashing store. Okay. So now I'm at a check cashing store and I'm running the store and it's my own little business I got going there. And this kid walks in this one day and he's got this little plastic, like he explains it so much better than I do. It's actually kind of funny. This little plastic Dollar Tree, like plastic basket with all this like stuff in it. And I'm like, I wonder what this is about. So he comes up and he goes, "Hi, I'm selling tickets for my upcoming match." She said so I can get some attire and new shoes and all this. I'm like, "Your match?" I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about. Then he explained to
Right.
me that he's a professional fighter. I'm like, this seems so odd to me. Like you're a professional athlete and you're selling tickets because you have to understand if you get it, if you're outside of boxing and you don't know,
No
you're
clue. No
thinking this
clue.
sounds crazy. Like
If
why
you're
would
on
you be
TV,
selling?
if you're on TV, you're making millions of dollars.
Right, like this doesn't make any sense. Exactly. Like if you're a professional boxer, you're making some cash. So I
Right. Right.
looked at the tickets and I'm like, well, they seem all legit. So I bought some tickets. But you would have thought I bought him a Bentley. He was so excited about like I think I bought $300 worth of tickets. So
Right.
I went to the boxing match. He gives me a shout out. I remember sitting there with a few of my friends going, "That's even stranger." Like first I
Right.
buy tickets and then he gives me a shout out like for buying tickets. Like this is very odd. So whatever. So then he started coming into the store and there were times when he just seemed, I don't know how to explain it, like hungry or, "Hey, you need a sandwich or what's going on?" And the kid was like, "Yeah." And then I decided I can't really just have him come in every day and just like buy him lunch or buy him dinner or whatever, or, help him out here. I'm going to ask him if he wants to come walk me out every day. So at the end of the night, I go,
Right.
"Why don't you come walk me out and I'll give you money to walk me out. So I'll pay you to walk me out." He's like, "How much are you going to pay me?" I'm like, "I don't know, like 25 bucks. It's only 15 minutes worth of work. So just walk me out every day." So
Right.
he goes, "Great." So he starts walking me out. Long story short, or actually, I'm not really telling it short. There's a snowstorm, and I tell him, I go, "I don't want you walking home today. I'm going to drive you home." And he says, "I'm not, I'm good. I'm fine. You don't need to drive me home." I go, "I am not going to let you walk." I mean, it was a really bad blizzard. You couldn't,
Right.
the kind you can't see 4 feet ahead of you. And I said, "No, I'm going to drive you home." So I drop him off at home. I'm waiting for the lights to go on. I'm waiting for the lights to go on. He's like, so I call him up. I said, "Hey," I said, "Are you okay?" I go, "I never saw any lights go on." He's like, I will never forget this. He goes, "Lights?" Like I asked him the most ridiculous question ever. "Lights? I haven't got any lights." He goes, "This is a squat house." And
Right.
it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I pulled out the city of Detroit. It's like a couple miles, got into what we call, the suburbs on the other side of 8 Mile. And I literally am sobbing. I'm like, I barely know this person. I mean, I know this, but I don't know him. I go, I am so upset. It just hit me. We all know about stories like that, and we all hear about it, but it's different when you see this person and he's training hard and he's going into the ring and he's giving it everything he's got. And then you realize it's not just the fight in the ring. Look, I'm going to start crying. You did not have me on here to start crying.
Nah,
it's not just a fight in the ring for these guys. It's a fight every day to survive.
Right.
And not with all of them, but with many of them. And this is so boxing unpolitical. That touches my heart. It just touches my heart. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to help this kid out. How am I going to help this kid out? So I said, look, I'm not rich by any means. I don't have a big old mansion, anything like that. I said, but I'm going to offer you to just live in my house just for a little while, just until you get on your feet and stuff like that. So I thought he'd be like, that's kind of creepy. No, he's like, sure. So I'm like, well, that was
at
easy.
The bottom. He's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, anything that helps.
Right. But I'm thinking, here's some creepy lady. Like, what do you mean live in your house? I'm good. So anyway, the only person I knew in boxing was I knew someone who knew Jimmy Mallow, who used to train Mary Jo Sanders, the 2-time world champion. She was Charlie Sanders' daughter. He's the Detroit Lions Hall of Famer, Charlie Sanders. He's passed away now, but that's the only person I knew was his daughter. So, and the person who trained her. So I took him to see him. He's like, oh, the kid's got some talent. He goes, but you need to get him a team. I'm like, no, I'm not getting involved in this. Like, I'm trying to help the kid, so I'm going to stay out of this. Now I'm reading on boxing. I'm watching boxing. I'm talking to people now. So he sends me down to Crunk. He'll just go down there. So I go down there, and at first it was like, who is this person? Because you've spoke with me. I am who I am. I'm not going to pretend like I know something I don't know. I don't think I'm above anyone else. I just am who I am. So I go in, and I'm just very humble. And I said, look, this is the situation, and I want to help this kid out. I know this is, like I say, when I tell people this, like, come on, no one in boxing does that. Everybody was so gracious, took me under their wing. Greg Candyman Coverson, I will never be indebted to him enough. Boom Boom Johnson, Leon Barber, Cotty King, like all of these guys from Detroit, just former champions, like guys that are up and coming. And I think it was because they just saw that I'm not trying to change the world of boxing. I'm just trying to help one guy.
They seen you were genuine.
Right. I guess that must have been it, because you talk to people like, first of all, you're a woman. Second of all, you're a white woman. Third of all, you don't know shit about boxing. But, and I realized if I wanted to help him, I need to know boxing, not just be like, they have one of these like managers that just thinks like, oh, I know nothing, and I'm just all of a sudden going to manage this guy. And I need to know, like, that's for me. And I think that comes from my background in education, my background, like, when I first trained neurosurgeons, I didn't know anything about neurosurgery either. And I learned it better than they knew it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to put myself in boxing university. So I left my position. I sold the store. I lived off in savings. And for 3.5, almost 4 years, I did nothing but boxing 30, 40, 50 hours a week. And then that's what I did. I was either in the gym watching boxing, talking to a trainer. So I've been in the corner. I've been a cutman. I've been, do I think I'm qualified to train somebody? Absolutely not. I'm not a great trainer. I will never be a great trainer. I've never strapped on those gloves. But have I been there with them? Have I gone through all the training with them? Have I kind of worked underneath them? And like I said, everyone was great. So that's how I got into boxing. And that's it.
I tell you, 9 times out of 10, I think the boxing people meaning trainers and fighters, they are the humble ones. They are the one, especially if you come in saying, "Hey, I don't know shit, but I'm here to learn."
Right.
And that'll make a trainer. I tell people, you know, if you want to be a boxing coach, go to the gym and help. And it ain't hardly no coach that ain't gonna say, "Yeah, man, go do this, go do that, go do this. Help me out. I need you to do this," so you can learn. But I think the other people is the ones you gotta watch. The other side of the box.
Right.
Normally, the fighters are the most humblest people in the world because it ain't a team. You know, they can't substitute. They taking the licks and the bruises and the lumps and like you said, what was this guy's name that you was helping? The fighter?
Ballard.
You know, fighters are a special breed, man. This guy's living in which, as sad as it is, it makes sense to me. This man living in a place, basically somewhere he found shelter, and he's selling tickets and running and boxing. You just explained the fighter. Now, I'm sure he wasn't gonna pass up any help, but
Right.
I tend to see in the boxing people, the fighters, you know, how many rude ugly fighters have you met in the years you've been in boxing? The fighter.
None.
I've been in it all my life, was born in it.
I mean, there's been a couple that I think, okay, you know, like get over
met one.
But not really.
You find the ones that standoffish because maybe they been
Right.
you,
right.
But just ugly, just an arrogant, ugly one. I met one in my whole life. So, you know, boxing is I hate to use that word humble, but it's a humbling experience, period. You know, from every facet, but the fighters, you tend to very seldom find arrogant fighters or people that's not appreciative. If you bought this you not only did you feed him, you gave him another reason to keep fighting, to keep training. You know, hey, somebody's rooting for me. You know, fighters need that, and it's crazy how the fighters appreciate it more than any other athletes that I know. You know, and I know a few.
They appreciate the smallest things. Like when I go to a fight, I always make sure I have an extra mouth guard in my bag. I've got extra gauze in my bag, there's tape in my bag, contact lens solution, a little case. There's like, oh, I forgot I have contacts in. You know what I mean? I've taken contacts out of their eyes. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes, I'll make. I got it. But it's the smallest things that you realize. Like, you know, I hear people repeatedly say, like, how do these guys come in from out of town? They don't have this with them. They don't have that with them. It's like they don't have the means to buy that. I mean, they're fighting to survive. They're fighting for that money, and then that money's going. As soon as they go back, they've got to pay rent. They've got to pay this. They've got to live off of that, and they're not making millions of dollars. And they're
not choosing to go without.
Right, exactly. So if they've got babies to feed or whatever it is, or whatever they've got going on in their life, like, you know, like anyone else, they make choices. So they're like, you know what, this mouth guard's good enough. It doesn't matter, it's good enough. And sometimes I see them, and you know what I'm talking about. You see it, and it's like, that's not even going to do anything. I mean, at that point, you're thinking that, my gosh, they shouldn't even let them fight with that. So, I mean, if I've got something like that in my bag, you know what I mean? You give it to them, and they do appreciate it. And I don't need the appreciation. I don't even care if they know that I'm the one that left it in their area and put their name on it. You know, sometimes I think they probably think, oh, the commission left me a mouth guard. That's awesome. Whatever it is. So it's the little things like that I think I don't want to say they're missing out of boxing, because they're there, and I see it all the time. I see it all the time with the trainers, and I don't think the trainers get enough recognition. I think one of the things that now, like I said, I knew nothing about boxing, but I've watched probably more boxing than anyone I know. I still watch 20 or plus hours of boxing a week. So, I mean, if it's a fight, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's, you know, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't care if it's in, Detroit, Michigan. I don't care if it's in, Waukegan or wherever it is. If it's been taped, streamed, or whatever, I might not watch it actually when it's happening live, but I do watch
Right.
it.
Right.
So, but I see these trainers, and I think a lot of times the fighters don't realize like what they give and what they do. I see now, I will see that a lot, where I think the fighters don't understand that you're giving your time away from your family and all that. And obviously there's a love for the sport. And, but I'm looking, when I watch old fights, you know what I mean, and things like that, when they're doing the ring walk, the backstory of the trainer. And I think that's why people think, oh, there are no great trainers anymore. There are great trainers. We don't talk about the great trainers. We don't talk about how the fighter got here. It's everything so social media, where you see the fighter doing pool work, doing this, and it's all for a fan base and to look cool and all that. It's not the real training. I mean,
Right.
it's real, but it's not real. The real is when your trainer looks at you and says, hey, son, have you eaten today? You okay today? You know what? We're not going to spar today. Let's go for a walk. Let's talk.
Right.
Let's do the thing. It's so much more than just the training in the ring and the sparring and all that. And there's so many elements to it that I'll tell you, I cringe at the fights last weekend. There's some of these guys, there's too much going on before the fight back in that dressing room. And shame on, I'm not going to point fingers at any commissioner or anything like that, but shame on the people that allow that to happen and the teams that allow that to happen. Because when I see that, I already know that fighter already lost this. I already know how the fight's going to go.
Right.
Especially when you got the other guy, I go in their dressing room and they're focused, right?
They silent.
They're just chill, just doing their thing. They don't have girlfriends coming in, kids coming in. Mom and dad want to say hi. My cousin wants to say hi. It's too much. Like,
I've
what are
seen
we
it all.
doing here?
I've seen it all. I've seen
Right,
family
it's too
members.
much.
I've seen family members and friends come to the locker room by the door shouting for fighters because they need tickets. And they about to walk out. What you mean? You need tickets? What you mean? Man, give me some of them tickets. I got somebody at the door. I've seen it all, man. And I tell my guys, I said, listen, you got to understand, man. I understand it's important to you, and it's human nature to look at things from your perspective, right?
Right.
I said, but son, I got you, the problem with your gal, the problem with your job, the problem with your training. Then I got him, the problem with his gal, the problem with his training. It's 7 or 8 of y'all, and then I got my wife, my children, my home to go to.
Right.
Slow down, bro. Slow down, man. Let's compartmentalize a little bit, because
Right.
from the fighter's perspective, they know you care for them, and you're gonna do anything for them. And this is such a particular sport that all they can, this ain't right, coach. What should I do? I need to do this. I need to do, and they don't understand, man, that the trainer. Now I don't care about the credit. I think my guys give me plenty of credit, and that's all I care about. If they know what I'm doing for them. But I agree with you. I mean, there are great trainers. There are great trainers linked back to the past too. But they don't get the headlines. No, and maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't. Long as the fighter recognizes what you're doing for them and takes care of you.
Right, but I think there's something cool about knowing the people in the corner.
Well, it's definitely a story. It's definitely a story.
The backstory and the story of the trainer, and like we knew the stories of Luduva, and we know those stories. Emmanuel Stewart. We know where they started. We know what gym they're at. And I think the fans like that. I think that's part of the package that maybe is missing a little bit today. I think that, I mean, I don't know what the answer is. It's not a huge deal. It's not like a big problem in boxing, but it was a cool part of boxing for sure. right?
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
there's a guy in Houston, Texas, Forrest Washington, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
look, I'm gonna get all
I
teary
think
eyed again. And
he's
pardon me?
watching us right now.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, hey, Forrest. Oh, well, there you go. So, and his last fight, Jericho came out, and before the fight, I don't know if you go back and you look at the pictures, um, it was my best part of my entire weekend, and definitely that moment, watching him with Jericho Walton in that ring, is definitely in my top 10 of all boxing moments ever.
Right,
It
right.
was genuine. It was heartfelt. He loves that kid. And he's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I don't know what was going on. I don't know a lot about Jericho's personal life, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was, this manager, promoter, trainer, Forrest was there. I mean, he was mentally, physically, he was there in that moment. So if you get a chance, in fact, when we're done, I'll send you the picture I'm talking about, or I'll post it on Facebook or something like that. But he's just holding them, and you know what I mean? Like, got his shoulders and their heads are touching and they're in the ring. I don't know what he said. I have no idea what he said, but I'm in the ring. I'm like, Claire, you can't start crying right now.
Right. Jericho showed his ass too that day. He went in there and kicked ass too. That
He did. So I don't know. Maybe I need Forrest to do that to me every morning.
well, according to both of them guys, and I know both of them a little bit, and they both uh seem genuine about how they care for each other, and
Right.
especially from Forrest's angle, how he met him and how he got involved and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a great relationship there. You see it, and I think I know what you're talking about because he came out in the ring with him and got in there with him before. Yeah, yeah. I think I know the picture
You know
you're
what I'm
talking
talking about? Like right
about.
before the fight started, I don't know what he was saying to him, but you could just see Jericho needed that. Forrest
Yeah.
needed that. Hell, I
Right.
needed that. I wanted to see that in boxing. And that's what I love about this level also. When you watch these, the PBC fights and things like that, you don't get that.
Right.
Everything's this is how we do it. Everyone walks here, everyone stands here, you stand here. You're right. It's all planned. You
Right.
kind of miss that part of it. This level of boxing is the best. It
That's
is the
an
ultimate best.
that's an unexplored angle you're talking about in boxing.
Right.
Only the insiders get to see the humanity. I follow what you're saying,
Right.
100%. And
And you
they
don't get that once you go up a couple more levels. You don't get that, right?
right,
That's all
right.
done now. Now it's all about
Business. Not that it ain't always business.
right. I was
But
gonna say,
man,
wait a minute, we're taking care of business. I don't know. I wouldn't want to say that no one was doing their business, but you get to experience that part of it. And I'm sure there's still that part of it at every level, but
right,
I like that we can still see it. Whether the fans come and they notice it or not, it doesn't really matter to me. The only person that it mattered to me was that Jericho felt it, and Jericho got to feel that, and I I was so happy. Jericho's guy came in a fat ass, way overweight. So we had to change the actual title that he'd be fighting for. And I'll never forget. I mean, Jericho said, he goes, "So Claire, what you're saying is I won't win tomorrow, and I'm not going to take my belt home." I
right.
mean, how do I do that? I'm like, heck, you're taking the belt home. So yeah, so he's our regional West champion, but he's walking around with our USA belt. Whatever. And someone
Right.
might think that it's crazy, but I'm not taking a belt from someone.
Right. I like that. I like that kid, man. He's a New Orleans guy like myself, and to see them dudes flourish here. You take a guy from New Orleans and put him anywhere, and he's gonna make it. It's because where he comes from. And so when I see Jericho, when I see Regis, when I see all these New Orleans boys thriving, it just further cements the fact that we just was missing opportunities at home. Not It ain't that we couldn't do it. You know, them boys, it ain't that they couldn't be successful, it's there wasn't the opportunity, you know. And
Right.
them boys came here through tragedy, and look at them, you know.
Right.
And I'm honest with Jericho. I know Jericho from the amateurs when we were supposed to fight him one time, and then my fighter and him ended up being real close friends, and so I root for that kid, man, every time, and you know I'm so genuine with that. You know, I know a lot of people think you're not. Claire, if I say I'm rooting for somebody, I'm really rooting for them. Because I won't tell you I'm rooting for you if I don't.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Like last weekend, Morris was like, "So, what'd you think?" I'm like, "I think you got an early Christmas gift, son. You lost that fight." And he looked at me like, "What? I mean, you got an early Christmas gift with that draw."
Got to tell you the truth. Got to tell you the truth. I don't, you know, there's a lot of fighters here. There's a lot of good fighters in Houston. A lot of good trainers in Houston. I tell you, I send a shout out to the coaches all the time. You know, I don't see people do that, but I'm not.
What's Forrest doing? Oh, Forrest, they have a new fight. Next fight, November 23rd in Houston. Okay, cool.
Yeah, is that? I wonder if it's at the Arabian Shrine or they going somewhere else.
Yeah, it is. I was looking at something they had posted the other day, and it's back there. Unless Forrest loved that, you'll have to ask him. He's on there, so.
Them boys do some good shows, man. Them next fight up shows are nice, man.
I know, right? Yeah. And the crowd's so great.
I like they on time. That's the biggest thing.
God, right?
Yeah, they do class shows, man. It's only a matter of time. I tell you, Jericho can fight, man. There's a bunch of kids they got that can fight, that can really fight. And the way they doing it, giving them a platform to perform, you know, and I know they done. I want to say they had Jericho in Vegas already before. You know, they pushing it, man. That Forrest it seems to be genuinely, you know, doing what he's telling that boy he's gonna do, and they care about each other, man. And
that's what I'm saying. That's what I love about it. It's super cool.
I root for him. I root for that kid, man. I know his story, you know, about his dad and all that. One of the first, we started the podcast in January, right? This is gonna be episode 35, I think. And he was one of my first ones, you know, and he gave his whole story, the stuff I didn't know, you know, and to see him being successful at this level, getting right up to the, you know, it's only a matter of time. And I tell you, that last fight he had, that was a real, you know, that was a real fight. That guy, you know, that was a step-up fight, and he dominated. I was watching it through you, remember? You was ringside, I wasn't there.
Right.
But I was watching you live. Yeah, man. So
a bummer, like at the end, no one can ever see what happens at the end because I've got to put down the phone and go in the ring. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, man, a bunch of good guys, and then between them and Alfonso Lopez up north doing their LTV fights, them two class promotions right there for Houston, you know. So I wish them nothing but the best. You were saying. Okay, so you're saying the ABF, or are you talking about like how the NABO is with WBA? You're trying to position a world title situation?
Yes, and so we're in some deep talks. I can't really talk about it right now, but we're in some deep talks, so we'll see what happens. I mean, the plan is by the beginning of the first quarter of 2020 that we'll have that relationship solidified with papers and all that, which is really great news for like our Continental American champions because then they'll be rated with that organization. So, so we'll see. Well, so I'm proud of the ABF, but we did a lot in, you know, I didn't really start really working it the way I work it now until August of last year.
Right. So y'all took that, what you said it was that they let go before the ABF? It was called what?
It used to be called the U.S. Mid-America belt. I wish I had Jeff Bumpus. I don't know if you know who he is. He's out of Indiana. And he fought for the belt. And he's a Hall of Famer. He's in a couple different Hall of Fame. So he fought for the belt. He contacted me. God, I wish I want to get the belt from him and like take it somewhere with me sometime. But he goes, Claire, I think I still have that belt. It is the most god awful thing I've ever seen. I go, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of it. We took it from that to this. It's this brown strap with, it looks like, I think it's supposed to be two boxing gloves on it or something, but it looks like two bronze turds or something. I don't know what it is. It's so, I mean, it's that bad. And this guy, he goes, that's the only belt I ever won. He goes, I still have it. So he still has it. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Even, you know, if you want to say back in the day or whatever, you've got guys who are Hall of Famer fighters, right? Recognized by Hall of Fame. And yet that's the only belt they ever won. That's the only like ring recognition they ever got. I mean,
Right.
obviously they deserve something more. So I feel good that we can do that. And then along with promoters, like, you know, that recognize that and care about their fighters and want to get them that recognition. And the fans like it, right? I mean, the fans like it. The fans like to come to a title fight and, you know, all of that. So it's all good stuff. But so
Right.
what's going on with your fighter? So you've got this fight coming up, right?
Mhm.
On Charlo's card. Now I'm
Yeah.
asking you questions. Now I'm asking you. Come on, let's talk what's going on.
Well, he two-time national champ. He had about 90 fights. That last qualifying, he dropped a decision. So going up there, he said, Coach, if we don't go make the team for next year, then we just go pro. I'm like, all right. So he dropped a decision against a kid. God damn it. That he beat him before.
Okay.
But so he called me that day. He's like, because I wasn't there in Colorado, and he was like, I'm sorry, not Colorado. Where was it? I don't know. Anyway, all right, we going pro. I said, all right, man. They had a couple situations that was supposed to pan out for him as far as promoters.
Right.
And I tell you, Bobby called me up one day. He's like, say, man, can Quentin work with Regis? Getting ready for the Relic fight? I said, yeah, man. And he went work that camp. And from there, Charlo was getting ready for the rematch with Harrison.
Right.
And Quentin knows these guys from the amateurs and shit, but he was like, hey, man, I need this guy to come work with me over here. So we're going to work with him at his gym here in Houston. And then when he went to Dallas for, with Derrick James, he brought Quentin with him, and they was working. And so Charlo was like, man, you ain't with nobody? And he was, nah, man. And he said, well, you on my show. And that one way he was supposed to fight Harrison. Remember Harrison got injured?
Yeah.
He fought the Hispanic guys. He did everything he said. We did. We went, we was a swing bout, so we didn't make TV because Lara and that white kid was supposed to knock his guy out. They went the distance.
Right.
And,
Right.
So we went on right after Charlo, and Earl Spence, all them stayed, so by they all know him, stayed to watch his fight. And we fought a tough kid out of Milwaukee. All the fights been tough so far, man. I mean, I've been looking at them before I accept them, but they real fights, So now we 5-0, and Charlo said, I'm doing my first promotion here in Houston, man. I want you to be the co-main. So, all right, cool. And then how the opponent came up.
Right. That's gonna be a good fight, though.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good fight, and I think that'll still be somewhat of a step-up fight for him. I think Hawthorne, he, people don't give as much credit as they should, but he's gonna come to fight. It's gonna be a good fight.
That kid can fight. He comes to fight. The record doesn't. I don't know his background. I don't know his history, but his record doesn't say who he is, and that's the sprawlers. That's the ones who who show up and upset the apple cart, like they say, because you know, he can fight, man. So it's gonna be a great fight. And what you said, you know, I told him, I said, listen, man, this is the business part of this thing is, you know, when they go live on PBC on social media and all that, carrying the show, it's millions of people gonna see you, you know,
Right.
and you holding the strap up in your sixth fight. The people who's just Floyd Mayweather fans, that's why they even follow PBC. They're not boxing fans. They gonna see that, you know, and it's valuable. So, and my kid, he works hard, man. He's always in shape, ready to fight. So,
Cool.
I look forward to a good show right here in front of hometown crowd. Jamel has treated him very well, first class, with the money as well as just putting him on the show. You know, these are just basically handshakes. You know, now with the understanding that we're gonna make some things happen, but
right, for sure.
I appreciate it for him, you know, because you talk about backstory. That kid's got a hell of a backstory, you know. So each time and he's built for this professional boxing because that's all I knew how to do anyway, you know. So and it's showing improving, you know. Everybody we fought had a winning record. The first guy we fought on the debut in Beaumont with Next Fight Up, that kid had damn near 40 fights, you know. I looked at it, I knew who he was. I said, we'll fight. You know, that was our debut. And then if this thing goes through on the 4th, that kid's got how many fights?
Don't say if. So say when.
When.
Yeah. I don't say if. I don't say hope. I mean, hope's a plan. Hope's just a really shitty plan.
Yeah.
When I hear someone, I'm hoping this happens, it's like, your hope, what are you doing to make it happen? So, yeah.
Nope. Right, what he's got over 20 fights, huh? Or close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and like you said, man, you keep getting that runaround. You know, you got too much amateur experience. I can't just I said, man, I'm looking at guys getting these fluff fights, and then y'all putting up putting up resistance for my guy. You know, I as his trainer and unofficial management, I'm looking at, you know, can we win these fights? And yeah, okay. And I ain't tripping on the record. My kid can actually fight. So let's go. We can do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, he's a good guy, man, and deserve every bit of success he's had thus far and whatever he'll get in the future, you know. But hell, when we met that Underwood show, he puts on hell of a shows too. Up there in man, did you watch our guy last night on the zone? Damn.
I know, right?
I like that dude, man. I like that dude. Good. You know, it's a fight, man. People get clipped. That's what happens. I told him, I said, that's why everybody don't do what you do. Because that right there can happen. And they scared of it. You know, I think it was Mike Tyson said, he said, you know, only when the biggest part of embarrassment does greatness come. You know, you got to put yourself out there. Right. And he was saying, you know, hey, I told my go-to line is, Joe Louis been stopped, you can be stopped. Right. It don't matter. So he seemed like I talked to him right after the fight. I'm not involved with him, just a fan. And he was like, nah, coach, you're right. I got clipped. And then I said, and then you fought back. You got hurt. And your response was the punch. Let's go. You know, and what happens, happens. But yeah, man, I was rooting for that guy, man. I like him a lot. But yeah, shit happens. You know, when you going into big shows like that, you know, we had that show on the zone, you know, and Robert's eye closed up on me. I had to pull the plug, but
Right.
you know, I told him, look, man, you got careless, got caught, and then that eye's swelling up on you, and you're still going out there, and then you started kicking his ass. Well, I'm not gonna ruin you. You can't see. It's clear you can't see. You eating them
You
straight.
don't need to check retina or anything like that, because once you get cut like here and then you get another, that's when the check retinas happen. That's career ender.
Right, and he was right back in the gym, pissed off, aggravated. So we hitting it hard, but yeah, man, we and I got about 7, 8 amateurs too
Cool.
at the gym, but yeah, my story is just the same old boxing story. He's just trying to win.
Yeah. Well, you got some
So
great fighters. What?
yeah, I appreciate it. That now Robert Redmond, I didn't develop him from the beginning. He came to me about 2 years ago, and through Quentin, they was friends. So, but I love that kid, man. That kid there is something special, man. He's just a great guy, you know. So, like I told him, I said, look, man. After that fight, when I stopped, I said, look, you can be mad, be mad. I'm gonna always protect you, bro. Whenever you don't want me to protect you, maybe you need to be somewhere else, because I'm gonna always.
That's what the corner's supposed to do. I mean, you know, your fighter is not going to say, you know, I'm done. So that's good. That's what you're supposed to do.
And he understood, you know. Once the emotions went down, he's like, Coach, I understood what you did. I said, I hope you do, because I would do it again.
Right, right.
But yeah. So Detroit, man. So when you was taking that guy down to, when you was going to Crunk, it was the old Crunk, the new Crunk. I never been up there, but as a kid, as a young guy, Tommy Hearns was my hero. So that's who I wanted to be
He's a
like.
great guy. He's a humble guy. He's a
I
good
love
guy.
it. I ain't never fanned out before, but
Is that what
I
we
say
call it?
if I ever meet him, I'll be like a little kid at Christmas, man. That
Yeah, that's what people say. That's what people say. But he's so humble and makes you comfortable that, I mean, I consider Tommy a friend now. So, you know, I'm not
oh
just a fan. So I consider him a friend. But there's a lot of great, you know, trainers here in Detroit doing a lot of stuff with the Amis. And, you know, I see these guys, you know, down at these local gyms. And like I was saying, these trainers don't get enough credit for what they do. And I think people just see like, you know, or people don't support the amateurs like they should. You know,
right.
and you're like, well, where do you think these fighters come from? They just don't all of a sudden wake up one day and say, I'm going to fight and become pro. You've got trainers that have been with them from the get, and they're just not with them. They're there for them after school, and they're there for them, you know, through it all. And
100%.
you know, that's where it all begins. But no, it was the new Crunk, the new location. The new Crunk is in the basement of an old church. So it's
Okay.
still a functioning church, but it's in the basement of a church. So the old Crunk burnt down now. So vandals burnt it down, which is kind of sad, but you know,
Yeah.
so no, it wasn't at the old Crunk. That would have been amazing, but no. I wasn't around then. I
I've
wasn't
never
around. I
been to
mean, I
none
was
of them.
born, but I wasn't in boxing, obviously.
Right.
So
So that guy, so Valley, you managed. Did you manage anybody else, or that was
you know, okay, so I can't manage anyone now that I'm part of the ABF, right? And then
right?
all kind of happened like when I stopped managing him, when that relationship as manager fighter ended, and I started with the ABF. You know, as a person of a sanctioning body, a vice president of sanctioning body, you're not allowed to manage anybody. But are there fighters that I've taken under my wing, and I don't get any money for it? It's nothing like that, but that they'll call me and ask me about a fight, or I'll help them work something out with a promoter, or kind of like a buffer for them. I do that all the time. That's every day, all day.
Right.
Like
That's
that's
not
where my
illegal.
heart is. I mean, I'm all about I'm all about the fighter. So there's not anyone that could call me and ask me for help. But if I can help, I'm gonna help. So in any way that I can.
How is it in this new? I don't know the PC terms, but
Just say it.
well, being a woman in boxing
Mm-hmm.
is what is, do you think it makes it harder, easier, no difference? I mean, we said boxing people.
There have been, okay, so the hard parts of it. There have been times that I think, and rightfully so, okay, and I'm not upset about it or anything, where people watch me on purpose. Some are waiting for, oh, let's see how far she can go without failing. Oh, she's never going to make it. Some people here in Detroit be like, oh, you know, yeah, she managed this kid, but now that she's not managing him, what is she going to be able to do now? And I don't want to say haters. I think that's
Claire,
natural. I think it's normal. I think it's legit. They don't
I
know
got,
that. Go ahead. And there we are. That was easy.
I think once it hits the hour mark, it logs off, but we just click back on.
Oh, okay. So, okay, to answer your question, so there's people that give me, yeah, I'm not going to mention names. There's one particular commissioner in this country that he doesn't like it. He doesn't like females in this sport. He doesn't think there's a place for it. And I get that it is, even though there have been women in this sport a long time, no one's ever been the vice president of a sanctioning body, whether it's the ABF or whether it's the WBC or whatever it is, you know, at any level. So I think that's kind of new for people. And I'm still really, I mean, as far as time goes, I'm the new kid on the block. You know, they don't know that I put myself in boxing university, that I spent, like I said, 40 hours a week studying boxing, learning boxing, sitting in the gyms. I mean, I can't tell you, I mean, the hours and hours every day that I sat on an uncomfortable little wooden red stool in a gym, you know what I mean? Just by the ring, just mouth silent, no talking, just watching and learning and listening. So, and I think that was very important. I think had I not done that, I don't think that I would be qualified the way I'm qualified to be the vice president of a sanctioning body. I think that as a woman, it's difficult at times, but other times it's not so difficult. I don't really think of myself as a woman in the sport. Maybe I should more. I'm just Claire. I'm doing my thing, and I know that my intentions are good. And like I said, if I don't know something, I say. I will humbly say, educate me. I don't know. But there's not much that I don't know as far as what I'm doing right now. I've got that down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I understand what's supposed to happen. I've gotten really good at matchmaking and things like that, and what matches to approve. But like I said, people watch on purpose. I think there's more and more women in this sport. And I think I actually haven't worked with a lot of them. So we'll see. So I don't want to say whether they all know their stuff or not, but I feel like a lot of men in this sport don't understand the business of boxing. So I don't think it's a female-male thing. I mean, sometimes I get questions or requests, and I'm thinking to myself, how do you not know that? I mean, that's basic, but they don't. And I don't look down on anyone for not knowing. And we educate each other and we learn. And that's how we make the sport better, by everyone learning and teaching each other. No one can just say that they've been in the sport. At some point, we all were on a learning curve.
Well, in today, there's a new learning curve, because the business has changed with the social media, as well as the app platforms. That's all new. Everybody's on some new stuff that you gotta bob and weave and figure out. You know, so it's constantly evolving. I noticed that what I'm noticing about women in the sport, besides all the great fighters, I love women's boxing. That's just me.
Okay.
But a lot of women are in the media. When I say media, social media for boxing. You know, a lot of them, man, and they everywhere. They covering everything. You know, and I look back and go like, I don't care if it's a woman doing it, a man doing it, whatever. Somebody needs to do it. It's boxing. We such a niche sport that once you're involved, you're all the way in forever, for life.
Yeah.
But
it's in your blood. That is for sure. Like, I can't imagine a day without boxing in my life. I can't imagine it. I don't even know
You're
what
not.
that would look like.
Yeah, right. And it's never gonna go away. Till you in the box, that's how it's gonna be. But you know, you take like a Rockies fan or a baseball fan, football fan, or whatever. You could say this guy's a world champ. They don't give a shit. We're just we got our own niche, I guess. But you either die hard or not. You know, even if you don't know what you're talking about, you still be a fan and love boxing and do everything boxing. So I see a big influx of women in the media roles, you know, and they seem to know the sport when they talking to fighters and stuff. They at least from the X's and O's, you know, who's fighting, who lost, who won, and yeah, I see it a lot. So I didn't know. What's the lady? I was a young guy. There was a lady from Detroit, I think, Michigan.
Jackie Callan?
Blind haired lady.
Yeah, Jackie Callan. She managed James Toney.
James Toney. Yeah, yeah. You know her? Is she from up there somewhere?
Yeah, I know Jackie. We're friends.
She's still in boxing or not?
Yeah, she currently manages Marquand Williams
Okay.
out of the Connecticut area. So
Okay.
he's the current WBC silver champion, I believe. And don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but no, she's still around.
I remember. Oh, we talking about late 80s, maybe? Late 80s, early 90s? It
Well,
was a
yeah,
big
whenever Tony was fighting. So
it was a big
yeah,
deal. They made
it's
a
been
big
around a
deal out of her
long
being a
time.
woman. She was a woman managing and you know, and all that stuff. So we done came it's a different boxing world now, you know, completely different.
Right.
Yeah, Callan, that's her name.
Right. But
That's
there's still people that give me a hard time. I mean, there's time, but I'm just kind of, I mean, you've met me, so you know, I'm just kind of you know, like there have been times I go back into the dressing rooms or whatever, you know, and I'll be like stopped and hey, no women back here. I'm like, I'm not a woman, I'm Clare Burke. You know what I mean? I'm not a woman today. I'm Clare Burke. I'm Clare Burke. And I don't mean that I'm Clare Burke and then I'm Clare Burke. I just mean that's just my way of being funny about it. Like, I'm not a woman. I'm Clare Burke, and I'm going back there. I'm supervising hand wraps right now, right? So,
right, right.
and honestly, I just kind of say it like that because it's funny, and they don't know what to say. So people are generally kind of wimpy, so they usually just, you know, it's like if you have a clipboard, you can go anywhere.
Right.
From the clipboard, they think you're supposed to be there.
So would you say being a woman in boxing is like being a woman anywhere else? You're gonna find the anti, what would you call it, the chauvinist people, and then you find the people who's just gonna go with it, or what?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I do. I think everyone kind of at first goes, okay, you know, let's see, like they're not expecting, they don't know what to expect. They don't know. Okay, I think when there's a man in my position, they just assume he obviously knows boxing, right?
Right,
He's in this
right,
position, he obviously knows what he's talking about. For me, I think every person on some level is going, does she really know what she's talking about? That's
right,
what I mean by I think they watch on purpose, but it doesn't affect me. I don't think about it. Like I said,
right,
I really, it's never really a thought to me like, oh, I'm a female in this sport. You know, I guess people do look at me that way. I mean, there's times I'll go to a weigh-in and they'll think, just this past weekend, the ring announcer, Ralph, he said, he goes, oh, I thought, when you first came in, I thought, oh, what did the promoter do? Hire a coordinator for the ring girls? He goes, who's this bougie lady walking in? That's what he told me. He goes, but no, you're pretty cool. He goes, I didn't know who you were. So I think there's still that part of it. I'll be at fights and people will come up to me and ask me questions like, hey, someone took my seat. And I just think it's because I'm a female, but I don't care. You know what? If I can help you find your seat, it's not a big deal.
right, right.
I'll do it all. I've set up seats for promoters. I'm part of the team when I'm there. So I know it seems kind of silly, but I just think we all just kind of work together and just keep it real. And like I said, I mean, sometimes people give me a hard time as a female in this business, but I stand firm. I mean, I don't cave to it.
Right.
So I'm never bitchy about it. I'm not aggressive, but I'm not a bitchy, aggressive person by nature, but I am assertive. and things are going to happen the way they need to happen. You know, if I tell someone that, you know, if the tape's not appropriate or they try and do stacking or something like that, I don't fall for any bullshit. You're taking that off, you're rewrapping them. If your fighter wraps his hands and then I see that he's coming out of a bathroom by himself and I happen to see it and there's not an inspector there, guess what? If it's my title fight, we're rewrapping hands. Like I said, I'm not a bitch about it, but I'm assertive about it. And everyone's very respectful. But I don't know, as far as being a female in the sport, I think in some ways it makes it easier. Gosh, the females in the sport are going to be really mad at me for saying that. But I think that I don't try and be a man. There's nothing about me that's like a man. And I don't want to be a man in this sport. I am who I am. I'm just Claire and I'm just doing my thing. So I think that, and I think once people get to know me or they talk to me, they realize that I'm all about the fighter. I'm all about the fighter. Now I'm all about the promoter too. If the fighter, I find the fighter's going to screw the promoter over. I don't want anyone getting screwed over. I think that there's plenty of business in this business to do business with people that aren't snakes. And I hear, oh, there's a bunch of snakes in boxing and there's all that. Okay, well, don't work with them. There's plenty of other people to work with. Now, at the very top of boxing, you know, when you're, you know, with the Al Haymans and all that, I mean, when you're there and you're working with those promoters, I'll be honest, even some of the people that work for those promoters will say, well, you don't want to mess with Al Heyman. Why? I mean, mess with them how? I mean, I hear him say it to other people, not to me. And, you know, he doesn't want to mess with them. And mess with them how? What is this person doing? So you're telling me that if someone gets an opportunity to be on Al Heyman's card, they shouldn't stand up for themselves and they should just allow things to happen because, well, I want my fighter to be on his card? No, I think you need to look out for yourself just as if he was fighting on Joe Smith's card or Forrest Washington's card or anyone else. It doesn't make it any different. Now, that's where I think boxing changes and people think, oh, it's a Mayweather promotion card or it's a, you know, Roy Jones Jr. card or it's, you know, a PBC card. And I get that. I get that that's like a goal for people to be on PBC and be on those cards. But you have to keep your same level of respect. You have to say to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to let this person screw me over or accept any less of what I deserve or what it should be. And I'm not going to accept any more bullshit just because it's a PBC card. Because your talent is what they want. I mean, you don't want to be difficult, but I don't want to see someone be difficult with the trainer, the promoter in their backyard either. So for that, you know, I did work on, and I won't mention who it was or anything, but I did work on I have a title fight on a Showbox card a year ago. Actually, it was like last September. And the guy who's the right-hand man for this promoter that we all know was trying to give me crap, was trying to give me a hard time. I'm not going to go toe-to-toe with someone like that, but I wouldn't do that in any realm of my life. I'm not, like I said, I'm not aggressive like that. But I was very assertive, and I'm not going to take any shit, and this is my title fight too, and this is the way it's going to happen. So otherwise, we don't need to do a title fight, and I'm cool with that too. You know what I mean? So, but I think that's like that with trainers. I've had trainers go, wow, we don't want to say anything, or we don't want to upset the promoter because we want to be on his card again. It's like, and I'm disappointed by that. I'm very disappointed by that. And I will flat out say, your job here is to protect your fighter. Who gives a shit about this promoter at that level? If something like that's happening, you need to protect your fighter. And most promoters, they're not looking to screw anyone over. I mean, like that. I mean, these guys, they you know, a lot of times it's just a miscommunication or something.
Most of the time, it's that.
They got to protect their fighters, but that's all I care about. I care about it being a fair fight. I care about. I don't really like this whole A side, B side thing. I'm fine with calling it. I call it red corner, blue corner, whatever. I'm not calling it A side, B side. And if someone says, "You mean A side?" I'm like, "You mean red corner?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I said A side. No, you said A side. There is no A side. This is a fight.
That's really not a thing until it's a thing anyway. Meaning, when you Canelo Alvarez or one of them, that's their lingo for that shit. But I think that's a hustle, man. I think that's a hustle. And I tell my fight, well, I tell any fighters, listen, man, you fighting locally here at the place, ain't no fucking A side and B side, bro. You might be down with the promoter and he ain't, but ain't enough money on the table to be
right.
You're not bringing people in here by droves. That's what you're trying to do, you know. So that I don't like that term either. I get it. I understand what they're saying, but I don't like that term either because to me that's a smoke screen for fighters. You got a fighter walking around saying I'm the A side making $1,000 tonight. You ain't the A side of shit, man.
A side of what? Right.
But
you're to fight with someone else.
I had my fighter say, Coach, he said, Coach, man, you gonna get me in some shit. I said, what? I said, because I was on there. I said, man, I told the guy, I said, I'm not friendly, bro. And what I mean by that is,
what did you say? I didn't hear you.
Friendly. I'm not friendly.
Funny. I say that to people I say that all the time. I'm like, I'm not friendly like that.
What I mean is, I'm not going to not tell you what I mean. So, you know, just this week at the gym, Coach, you going to get us in some shit, man. We going to be fighting and shit because you'll just tell it. Listen, man, I don't want to fight no more than nobody. But if it's a reason to fight, we can fight. So
right.
I just speak plainly. And sometimes that's too much for people, you know. But I don't try to. I think anybody that's my friend would totally disagree with that statement that I'm not friendly. They would say, "Shit, bro, you one of the best friends I got." But what I mean is, I'm not gonna sit here and let you shit on my guy. And it's funny because every commission is hilarious. Every commission they sticklers to something completely different than this one. You know,
it's like welcome to the United States of Texas, welcome to the United States of Ohio, welcome to the United States of Indiana. And that's what I say. I'm like, every commission is its own country. And I try and explain that to fighters all the time. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm going to say it again. Every commission is its own country. And every country has its own way of running its country. And that's it.
The thing that's most important over here, this commission don't even bring it up. It's hilarious, man. You sit there. I was at a fight. We was fighting in California. No, we were fighting in Vegas. And the little commissioner chick who watched the hand wraps and all that, she got the gloves, and I'm looking at her. And I'm looking at the show backstage. I said, I need them gloves. Oh no, I can't give you them gloves. I said, we going on in 2 fights. I need them gloves. Oh no, hold on. She went got the one above her. What's going on? I said, I need them gloves, man. He said, no, I can't give you them gloves. I can't give them to you. I said, well, how is my fighter supposed to warm up? Well, let him warm up. I said, what?
And this was where?
In Vegas, I believe.
It's also crazy.
They was holding on to the gloves like a precious jewel. Now I understand you don't want nobody to rig up the gloves, but I'm sitting right here. You gonna watch me
put them. Give them the gloves, and they put them on. You tape them, and you sign them, and then they got the gloves.
Go about your business. Yeah, get out the way so I can finish warming up.
To make sure that before they go in, you check to make sure that your signature on that tape, and then nothing's been messed up, and you're good.
Then in California, they can't give me the gloves as soon as we go to the locker room and walk up. It's strange, man, that you sit there and go. You got to sit there and go, all right, which one of these people is going to give me a problem about nothing? Nothing.
Exactly. Okay, so there's where being a woman comes in. That's where I go, I think they expect you to go, oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I mean, normally I take, and I do know what you're talking about, but at the weigh-ins for title fight, we have a glove ceremony, and I take the gloves into my possession. I would say my custody, just because I think it's funny. So I take the gloves into my custody until they go on this fighter's hands the next day.
Right.
I have them with me. You know what I mean? I mean, if I go to dinner, they're in my room. I'm not walking around with them big custody, big, locked up case or anything. But yeah, but last weekend when I asked the commissioner about it, I said, so, did the promoter bring the gloves? We're going to do glove ceremony. She looked at me like a deer in the headlights. Like she had no clue what I was talking about. She goes, oh, yeah, we're still trying to work out the gloves. I go, and I'm not going to cause a big deal. I said, okay, tomorrow when we first get to the venue, what time are you going to be there? I'll be there when you get there, and we'll do it immediately then. That way it's out of the way and I know it's done. Never happened. I mean, I got the gloves and I did my thing, but they never looked at the gloves. So here I had a commission, never looked at the gloves. But that happens a lot.
Right.
I've been in a lot of fights, and it's not just me. And I think, okay, like there's another organization there, and I'll say a bigger organization. I'm not going to mention names or anything like that, and I expect that they're having a title fight also, that their supervisors there watching hand wraps. I never see that supervisor back there. And I think, what is your point? So your point is you just come to the fight, you just hold up the belt. It's also crazy. But it's all different. It's all different.
When there's been people like with Margarita getting caught with things in his gloves and all that type of stuff, I tell people, I said, because the sports fan don't understand, man. They don't understand the average boxing fan. And I ain't talking about, I know the thing is casual fan or whatever. We need them more than diehards because the casuals spend the money, right? But they don't understand how this thing works, like you said earlier. And when somebody gets caught cheating with the hand wraps or the gloves, and like somebody could do that. Yeah, bro, yeah. You never been to a place where the commissions are
intentional, but they think exactly. They think that the inspectors are back there and they're watching everything it's not like that. They don't know that the inspector's over there on his phone, texting, hey man, we're wrapping. Yeah, I know, I got you. And they're not, they're there, and that's not everywhere. That's not everywhere. No. There's a lot of great commissions out there and a lot of great inspectors, but you do run into the few that just don't do it. So then you have to question, do you really not care? Do you not know? Or is there something else going on here? Are you intentionally not watching? Right. Are you intentionally not there? Right? You don't know.
I was at a fight, and I'm not gonna name the commission either, since we ain't naming stuff.
Right, we gotta work again.
Right.
We gotta work with these people.
I said, look here, man. When you gonna wrap? I didn't ask the commission. I went and asked the other guy's trainer.
Oh, right, right.
When you wrapping up, man? And I think a manager for the other guy came in. Oh, we don't do that over here. This is the commissions that are watching. I said, well, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I ain't listening.
That might be what you do, but I'll tell you what I do. I watch my fighter's opponent wrap their hands. Otherwise, there's not going to be any fight. And they don't get that.
Right, because you want me to depend my guy's health on this usher over here? Because that's another thing. Sometimes it's just a chick look like she just going to work for 8 hours for the venue, and then in some places it'd be a commissioner, somebody that you could tell he knows what he's doing. He's looking at everything. But
and I will say that I've run into that, and I think to myself, this is why women in boxing still have it hard, because you've got some female back there who thinks that it's Match.com or something, or this is like a Tinder live meeting. This is not a Tinder live meeting. This is not Match.com. This is the boxing event. Right. There's fights going on. This isn't about flirting with people at this time. You know what I mean? This isn't the time or place, but I get what you mean. And there's been, and I don't know what they're taking pictures. I've been inspected back there taking pictures with the fighters and doing all stuff. I get that they want to do that, but there's a time and place. Before a fight, I will never be seen doing that stuff. And I know people they want pictures and things like that. After the fight, after you fought, that's fine. But beforehand, this is business. This is serious business. This is fight business.
I've seen them latch on to the gloves like a vice grip and not care about nothing else. I've seen them latch on to the hand wraps but not care about nothing. I've seen guys, they just care about what's in my bucket and ain't looking at nothing else. So each place is like you said, their own country. So you just gotta go with the flow.
You need a Diet Coke in the room, but you can wrap with any kind of gauze you want, and you can use any kind of tape you want, and no one's gonna watch you wrap hands. But get that Diet Coke out of here.
That's crazy.
No caffeine in the room.
That's true.
Caffeine. I got a guy over here making a damn cast. He's got
Yeah.
plaster of Paris and everything else. You're worried about
Yeah.
caffeine.
It's
I
funny
know.
what
It's crazy.
they latch on to. Well, I tell you, man, I appreciate you coming on here, and
Oh, no, thanks for having me. It was fun.